Yo! Welcome back to Story Time, where I talk about how I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! So let's get right into it anyway. So obviously as a kid, I played Star Deck format, you know, got some Yugi. I think I had the Yugi Star Deck. And I remember having Karibo. And I remember specifically that I was playing with my neighbor. So I had a neighbor that played Yu-Gi-Oh! He had the Kyber structure deck. I got the Yugi one. I don't know why we had them. Or how, because my family was not very rich at the time, and my English back then was pretty bad. I will say it was my English was not good then. So a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards did not make any sense to me. But thankfully, all Yu-Gi-Oh cards didn't really have fucking text on them anyway, because they were just the vanilla that does nothing. So that's cool. And I specifically remember we were playing on a field on grass with our Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I remember the wind blew away my Karibo, and I was heartbroken. I just wanted my Karibo back, and I never got that Karibo back. We still kind of played Yu-Gi-Oh! Because of GX, because heroes, you know, Jaden, epic, Cyrus, also epic, but then obviously, you stop playing Yu-Gi after a bit. And my origin story came from basically... Where do I even start with this? So, my sister had friends in her school that played locals, but this was back in like 2009. And my sister was like, yo, do you want to go to like a tournament? And I'm like, yeah, sure. But I couldn't play in the tournament because obviously my sister is like 16, edgy, and isn't about, you know, supervising me for like 10 hours playing a Yu-Gi-Oh! Local. She ain't about that life. I was maybe there for 20 minutes, but I got taken to a tournament, and I was like, well, PogChamp, do you want to trade for my Rainbow Dragon Secret Rare? They didn't want to. I don't know what they were missing. Anyway. So, then I kind of stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I had no one to play with. And also, kind of a problem, we kind of kept moving all the time, so I would basically like lose my friend group every single time we moved. So when I eventually moved to not Dublin, I didn't really have friends that played Yu-Gi-Oh! So we just did other shit, like role-playing as Naruto characters. I'm not joking, okay? I know I'm stalling to the Yu-Gi-Oh part, but I'm just giving you the preface of this, okay? We pretended that we were Naruto characters, okay? I'm being very, very vulnerable right now, and I'm telling you what I was when I was like 10 years old, okay? Don't judge me, okay? I was 10, I wanted to be fucking Naruto, and it was fucking Rasengan and shit, right? Fuck you. Anyway, so flash forward to when I'm like 13, 14, maybe 12. And we're playing Magic the Gathering, right? And my friends, so it's lunchtime, okay? This is secondary school. I go to my Polish friend's house. His name's Thomas. And we're in his house playing Magic the Gathering, because he was really into Magic the Gathering. I wasn't, but I had a white starter deck, and I was chill. And then one day, right? I was like, okay, ready to play some Magic the Gathering and smoke some cigarettes, because that's what I did at that age. Don't anymore. And I get to him, and he's on his computer. And I'm like, whoa, what is that? And he's like, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I'm like, Yu-Gi-Oh! I remember that game. It's still around. And he's like, yeah. And then I'm like, what are these black cards? And he's like, oh, they're called XYZs. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then I sit and watch as he is playing against Windup. Guess what happens next? Anyway, and that's kind of what the seed. Dueling Network back in the day, he's playing on DN, and the seed is planted in my head. And then we go to the card shop, and one day there's people there with Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, and I'm like, I want Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, but I don't have money. That's the problem as a teenager. You've got all the time in the world. You got all the energy in the world. But you ain't got no fucking money. Where's the money? You know? So shit, we're gonna have to sell some stuff. So what do? I I sell some old consoles. Not joking. I sell a Game Boy Advance. I sell my original Pokemon Red game for the Game Boy that wasn't actually mine. I got it off of a friend and I sold it. And I sold also a bunch of PS2 games as well. And then I had money and I was like, fuck. Money. Do you know what I'm gonna spend this on? I'm gonna spend on some Yu-Gi-Oh tins. So what did I buy? I bought some Return of the Duelist special editions, the one with Excalibur in it. Bought some tins, Dolka tins, Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon tins, I think, maybe. Something else. Some other tin. I can't remember what the tin was. Anyway, so what happens is that I pull a whole lot of fucking wind-up sharks, okay? We pull wind-up sharks, and by we, I mean, I had a friend, like, in my old house, I had someone who played Yu-Gi-Oh, and his dad would drive us to the city center. And then we'd sell our shit and we'd buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But here's the kicker. I also pulled, in one day, from one tin and one special edition, I pulled 2 Gear Gigant X's. Now, at the time, so I don't exactly know what the prices of the cards were back then. However, from what I'm told, Gear Gigants were about 80 each, okay? 80 each, because Gear Gigant was a good deck. Believe it or not, Gear Gigant setting armor and passing was a good deck. And they were like 80 each or something. Now, I had unlimited copies because 10, right? And special edition. However, I had 2. Not super pog. And then I got scammed for both of them. I traded one of my Gear Gigants for a Violon core. Expected value, €2. But I really wanted the Violon core. I really wanted that fucking Violon core, dude. But then I traded my other Gear Gigant for some 6 Samurai cards. Almost an entire deck. And by almost, I mean like a Shien. I think. A Stardust Dragon, maybe? A half-eaten Black Rose? I don't fucking know. There's a whole lot of fucking garbage. Anyway, that's how I kind of got kickstarted into Yu-Gi-Oh! Just had a bunch of cards. Looked up online. And then, yeah. That's how I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! I got scammed for 2 Gear Gigants in the span of a week. Probably. So yeah, and then I ended my first locals. That was cool. I won a match. It was against the buy. And then I got hand looped. What did you play? I played like a scuffed like Blackwing deck. And then my first ever competitive deck that I actually like spent a lot of time on getting the cards for was Lightsworn. Because that deck was cheap as fuck. All of the Lightsworn cards like Lumina, Wolf, etc. were reprinted in the Raw Yellow Mega Pack, and Judgment Dragon was now a common. So I just picked up full common Lightsworn. The most expensive card was Solar Recharge, because it was still only a super rare and an ultra size Seek ultimate rare. So I picked up some supers. But those were kind of expensive. Those were like 10 each or something. Maybe 5? I don't fucking remember. Anyway. Picked up a full Lightsworn deck. I played the Light Ray monsters as well, like Daedalus and Diabolos? Light Ray Diabolos, is that a one? And Gearfried, I think? I think that's what they're called. Anyway, whatever. It was just summon a bunch of dudes. Charged Light Brigade was at 1 back then. Was my deck good? Probably not. But I had Necro Gardens and stuff too. You know, Necro Garden is a cool card. You mill it, and then you can protect your dudes from battle. It's cool. And then yeah, that was neat. Yeah, I played Lightsworn for a long time, and then I played Lightsworn, and then I played like 6 Samurai. Oh! And then Hidden Arsenal 7 came out, I think. Yes. And I also played Gladiator Beast. There's a lot of lore here, chat, to unpack. A lot of it can be saved for another day. But basically, like, the TLDR is, I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For a little bit, but then one of my friends got banned from my locals. And he had full Dragon Ruler. And then he gave me a lend of it. And that's when I fell in love with Yu-Gi-Oh! The end!